Ciao, chin chin. Welcome to You, Me, and Sicily. If you're new around here, welcome to You, Me, and Sicily. We come to you live a few times. We also have pre-tape videos and so much more.
Today, we're doing a broadcast in the middle of an eruption. Mount Etna is erupting today, Esther. The lava is flowing down.
It's been really, really striking
The
to
wind
me.
is howling.
The whole topography of Etna has changed dramatically in the past year, just completely different. I say, she has one boob, now she has two boobs. It's unbelievable. Listen, we have some friends here. Christine and her daughter Kaylee are here from Texas, and we're going to talk to them. This is not their first time. This is actually Christine's fourth time here in Sicily. She is Sicilian, so we're going to talk a little bit about her visit. But first, what are you drinking, honey?
First of all, Christine, your husband Travis sent me that, right?
Yes.
Travis sent me some fine Texas bourbon. Probably, it's kind of going right up. Show the bottle, please.
It is so beautiful.
It's called Still Austin. It's from Austin, Texas, and it is a terrific bourbon. I would say I'm tying this now with Angel's Envy from.
Wow.
Angel's Envy is a terrific one, but this is going to be my new terrific one. And maybe when Travis comes here again, he'll be able to smuggle in another bottle for me. I'm the only guy in Sicily,
Prosecco.
I know this, that has fine bourbon brought to me by friends from either Texas or Louisiana or New Jersey.
How come I never get anything? That's what I want to
Because
say.
you drink
Okay?
wine. You're
I'm a
not
vino girl.
connoisseur. So
all right, can we just talk about this?
Look
at these strawberries that we bought today. They're ginormous. I mean, look at these. Okay,
I have to say that these are the best ones.
€3 for this container, so it's pretty good. And I got to tell you, I saw some jealousy, which is mulberry. The peaches are starting to come out, so the spring fruits are well on their way. And I guess there was some Maloney too.
I remember a couple of weeks ago, I tried the first strawberries out. They tasted fair average quality, but these today had an explode. My mouth was going like this as I was eating one. Right, they're terrific tasting strawberries.
And the cherries are coming out, and I saw cherries today, and I was like, no, I'm not going to buy them because the first of the season, they're not as good for sure. So can I just tell you guys that, so I've been out touring for almost 2.5 weeks. And right now, at the beginning, it was a little bit cold in May, a little bit of rain. But in the middle of May, the weather has just been spectacular. And people often ask me, you go back to the same places. What do you think? It never gets old because during different times of the day, different seasons, different months, Sicily is just beautiful. But this time in particular, I was really just, wow.
No bugs.
No bugs.
There's no bugs. And guess what?
And there's no haze, so you can see things really clearly. Etna is very, very clear. The flowers are beautiful. So it's just a great time to come to Sicily.
I just checked the weather for the next 10 days. It's going to be hot and it's going to be sunny. All right. So I'm talking about up until June 5th so far. We have another tour starting.
We have another tour over in Palermo starting on June 6th to the 16th. But let's talk real quick about your plan for tours next week, and then let's go next year. And then let's go.
Then I have to talk about one more thing, okay, if you don't mind.
Okay.
All right, listen to this. We are going to do an Opus tour next year. You know what an Opus is? An Opus is like a statement, like you do like.
Hold it.
All right, sorry about that. We're back. So what we're doing? We're going to do an extended tour next year. That's going to start. You're going to leave the United States on May the 7th, and then you're going to come here to Catania, and we're going to go to places such as all our normal places here. All right, and then that's part A. Okay. And then part B, we're going to, after 10 days, we're going to travel to Avila, and we're going to hit all the beautiful, and we're going to stay there, and we're going to hit all the beautiful places like Ragusa, Modica,
Noto for the Noto Flower
Pacchino,
Festival, Mazamemi.
Mazamemi, the Greek temple. So there'll be a part A and then a part B.
So that's coming up next May, and we will have details for you very, very soon.
Yeah, we're almost finishing, and you could take either a part A or a part B or the whole thing. And I would suggest that this trip is going to be so special because I think there's a rumor going around that after next year, I'm going to kind of like ride off into the sunset and let Esther take over the reins over here. So she's letting me put this whole tour together. Seriously, she's letting me put this whole tour together, and I'm really looking forward.
But you'll still be in the picture, right?
Of course I'll be in the picture, but the whole touring, we've got other things that we have to fry. We have other fish to fry, and I'm going to turn over, starting next year, the touring business, so to speak, to Esther, and she'll have another person assisting her. Okay, we have a couple people in mind already. But the reason next year is significant to me personally, seriously, and then I'm going to move on, is that next year is the 100th anniversary of the Feast of St. Alfio in the United States in September. So I want to do a feast visit here, which we haven't done in a while, pre-COVID. So we'll do a feast visit here, do the stuff around Nicolosi, Via Grande, and all those places. And then I'm going to go to the States and do the 100th feast with my brother. I want to be with my brother, Tommy. Yeah, I want to be with my brother, Tommy.
All right. So what's the next thing you wanted to talk about?
Okay. The other thing is this, is that Esther has been working awful hard on an October trip. We weren't going to do one 3 weeks ago. Then she came in. She said, please, please, please. I said, okay. So
it's already published.
It's already published. It's on our website, www.youmeandsicily.com. We got our first deposit in. We're going to close it at 10 people. Okay. So if you would like to come on a phantasmic trip, and we're going to be featuring the Octoberata, the October Festival in Zeffarano dell'Etna. Am I correct in saying that?
Correct.
It's going to be great. So please, the weather's good. The prices are okay. And I want to talk about prices at some point.
Can we get Christine in
all
here
right,
now?
We'll get Christine on. When I come back, I have to tell you another story.
Okay,
So
while Alfred is moving. Oh, live is so much fun, you guys. I got to tell you. Listen, I'm working on the next video, which is Etna Wine. So stay tuned for that. Look at my beautiful friend, Christine. You got to sit up. You have to be as tall as me. Wait, wait a sec. Maybe I'll just go like this.
I'm taller than you.
There we go. All right.
Hi.
Ting ting.
Ciao, tutti.
Okay, Christine, your family is from the Mazamemi area.
Papakino.
Papakino.
My grandmother and her
And
family.
so talk a little bit. Excuse me, audience. Shh. So tell the story about your family leaving Sicily.
Where do I look?
Right up here.
Okay.
Or at me.
Okay. My grandmother left in 1929. Her father had left with her mother.
Mhm.
They took some of the kids. They left and they came to America first for about a year, and then they went back. My grandmother was taking care of her younger siblings. And they went back to get her. And I heard that if she couldn't come, because she was at a certain age where the U.S. had stopped taking people at a certain age, 25, 24, they said if she can't come back, then we all go back to Pekino. If she can't come to America.
And so
they came to America in 1929. My grandmother did. She was, I think, set up for a marriage, and she married in 1934 in New York. And
what was your grandmother's name?
Concetta de Pietro.
Conchetta. And what are some memories?
Concertina.
And what are some memories you had with her?
Well, I knew her all my life, and she was there when I gave birth to my first child because my mother had passed away. She was a great cook, a very good nurturer. She could be a little loud. She could be a little. She was very short.
Sicilian?
Yes.
Loud? What?
She always was cooking, always baking, always asking me if I needed anything to be sewn, like socks, because she was a seamstress when she came to America. I knew a lot of her siblings who lived in the area around
Did she
New York.
speak Sicilian?
She did speak Sicilian. I didn't know at the time. We just said it was Italian. We didn't know. But
Do you remember any words?
no, I just remember all the curse words that my mother would say, because my mother grew up with this and my aunts grew up with all of this.
What are some traditions that you had Sicilian that now you realize, oh, that's because my grandmother was Sicilian?
Yes. I know they don't do it in Sicily, but the Feast of the Seven Fishes, we did that. I didn't know when I got married that it wasn't normal to go around with the bag to ask. You'd mostly get cash. I thought everybody did that. With Sunday dinner, we would have that at my aunt's
You
a
had
lot.
Sunday.
Yeah, we would definitely have that.
Was she a religious person?
Yes.
Who was her patron saint?
I don't know. I don't know who her patron saint was, but I do have her missal, and it's
Oh,
falling
that's
apart. I
beautiful.
have that. When we would go to church, she would bring her own book and read or do something with it. When my daughter Lauren was born, she put some things that are on ribbon in her
Oh.
thing. Yeah, some kind of saint things. So yeah, she was very religious.
At one point, did you realize that I want to go back to Sicily? When did that bug bite you?
Probably, I'm going to say very young, very young. I always would say I want to go to Sicily. Yeah, so I was very young, and then,
so when you first came, what was that feeling? I didn't. You didn't go to your ancestral home first, did you?
we did, we were here for the first visit, and we got a driver to take us there because they said
What was that like?
my family will never forgive me. It was amazing. It was amazing to see the name on the street sign.
Mm.
It was amazing when we were flying over Sicily and I could see it. And I thought, do you know I'm here? Even though she's buried in New York. It's crazy, but it was important because also my aunt had brought her back in the 70s when she was older. And my aunt will talk about that whole experience and how wonderful it was. And the foods.
And so through the years, this is Christine's third time here with us. She's
Fourth
come
time.
with Travis
my husband.
and with her daughter Lauren last year. Now Kaylee, her other daughter, is here. We're going to hear from her in just a little. Actually, Kaylee, come say hello.
Hey.
I want to know, first of all.
Oh, and my sister, I had
And
my
your
sister
sister, that's
came on a
right.
tour, and my cousin.
First
yes.
of all, bravo to you for passing these traditions down to your family. Callie, come over here. There's Callie. And this is your first time in Sicily. And what do you think?
I love it. It's beautiful.
Where has been the most beautiful or striking place you've been to? We've had some great experiences, but what about the city?
I mean, yesterday I got going at the very top and
They went to
Castellmola.
Taormina and Castellmola.
The view from up there it was incredible.
Do you know how much I love you guys hearing people saying, wow, wow. I was in the Greek amphitheater with her, and she kept saying, wow, the views, right?
I had to buy her a beautiful gold Trinacria and
Can
chain.
you guys see that? Speaking of you guys, when Alfred goes home in a few weeks, I'll have some sterling silver
I
Trinacrias
have
for
one.
you.
I love
You
it.
have one,
It's
right?
gorgeous. I didn't bring it, but I do love it. I did get these earrings in Termina, one of my favorite, not real gold.
But it's
I
so
like,
nice.
Yeah, it's really one of my favorite shops. It never gets old. Coming to the same places,
I said
you
the
see
same
different
thing.
things.
I said the same
Different
thing.
season, May, totally different. Than
This
the
is your
times-
first time here in May.
First time in May. I've been in September and October, and this is my first time in May, and I love it.
I want to ask you about some, you talk about the seven fishes. What other foods, typical Sicilian foods, did you grow up with? Anyone make the caponata? Or rice balls?
My family did not make the rice balls. I don't know why. Probably they were too lazy. I don't know. But we had a neighbor friend. A lot of people I grew up with in New York were Sicilian, so we would have them at Christmas Eve at a neighbor's house. Caponata, I don't think they would make it as much. We would have eggplant parmesan all the time. My grandmother was very big into vegetables. That's how she said it. Vegetables. And she would eat vegetables and pasta every day.
Well,
For lunch.
Sicilians eat pasta every day.
Not spaghetti and meatballs the way you think. Nothing like that. We would have a lot of pork roasts, things like that.
So
A lot of
what do you hope
vegetables.
to pass on to Kaylee to Lauren and your son Austin, who I'm hoping will come soon. We can
Yes.
meet the whole family.
Yes. I just want the connectedness to know your roots, know where you've come from. For me, it was very important because I grew up with it and they didn't. And my mother had passed away at a young age, so she couldn't continue it on. My aunt, they were lucky enough to have her in their life, to have some of the traditions, the certain cookies, the certain things, especially being New York Italian. I think you have certain different things than you have, the certain pastries, things like that.
Let me just go ask you guys, the audience who's watching, if you guys have any questions. Travis is here. Ciao, Travis. We're missing you here. Let's see here. Connie, question. Have you ever been to the Canadian cemetery in Ajira? I have not, but we have been to the World War II Memorial Cemetery, that is, just outside of Syracuse, dedicated to the British soldiers. We did go over there. Thank you, Carolyn. She says, I'll bring you anything. Thank you very much. So talk to me about some of the things, you've seen much of the island. What are some places that really surprised you?
I think Ortigia surprised me. I'd never been there until October, and it's just so different. It's so different. I love Taormina. That was my first place, and that, of course, is very touristy. I'll be honest. When we went with you to the Palermo tour on the other side of the island, Castelbuono and Polizzi Generosa, when you go to these tiny towns,
remote, non-touristy, tiny towns, off the beaten path.
Fall in love again. It's a different lifestyle. I was trying to explain it to my sister years ago before she came. It's a different lifestyle. It's not go, go, go. It's not watching Netflix. It's not traffic. Well,
traffic. There is some in the cities.
But it's definitely a different lifestyle where you're just sitting like we did yesterday. We had a long time in Taormina, and we really enjoyed, and people watching and people. I would say definitely the smaller towns like that.
And Ortigia, of course.
Ortigia.
Catherine, nice to see you here. Me too. I always wanted to come to Sicily when I was very young. And when I finally went 30 years ago, it was magical. And I rekindled close family relationships and have come every year since. That's awesome. We hope to see you here, Catherine, as well. Polizzi Generosa is near my town of Locati. It's a beautiful area. And, I often say this to you guys. I've been here now since 2014. I've had the honor and the pleasure of traveling around the island. But there are still some of these small little towns that just make me go, oh, the simplicity. The men sitting on the benches, solving the world's problems. Nice, slower.
Even
rice.
Today in Azitrezza, we saw a bunch of older men.
Speaking of, you had a nice boating experience.
We had a boat ride this morning, and it was a small. What would you say? It was a pretty small.
It was a small boat,
and
with our sailor Giuseppe,
very nice guy. And it was quite breezy this morning. They said it was a little rough, and as soon as we got out of the marina, we got into some big swells. My daughter loved it. She was sitting right there at the top, and I'm at one point I huddled down.
And then wait, tell us what you had for a snack.
Oh, this is amazing. It was he cut up a fresh pineapple in front of us. He cut it in slices and wedges. Then he cut up fresh ginger and he diced it very, very fine. He cut up mint. He mixed that all together, almost like a gremolata. Mm-hmm. He sprinkled that over. Then he had seeds, and it was toasted, different kinds of seeds, like a sunflower, pumpkin, sesame. And they were toasted because they were perfect. He sprinkled that all over it, and then he
made it right on the boat.
He squeezed fresh lemon juice, and if anybody knows, this is lemon land. Fresh lemon juice over the whole thing, and we just ate it right there. And mint. Yes, and mint. Mint was in it.
I've tried to reproduce that in the house. It's just unbelievable. It's something that he came up with, all local products. And he was just thinking of something refreshment.
He said it was his recipe. And I said, now it's going to be my recipe. Let's steal it.
One of the things too, that's really nice is that you can come to Sicily because it's an open museum, right? You can spend all day going to the different sites. But what I love is that you can have these experiences. Going on a boat is an experience over here in Acitrezza. Going to a vineyard, it's an experience. Having a cooking demo. So I always urge people, I think we did an entire video on experiences, top experiences to have here in Sicily. So I strongly suggest that you guys go and seek out. Also a good way to connect with the locals, right?
Yes.
I didn't go on the boat ride today, but how did you guys communicate? Because let me tell you, his English is not great.
We communicated fine.
You
We did. We
communicated. Two
communicated fine.
Sicilians.
Yes,
You
we
communicated.
communicated. He just saw her sitting up there. She was fine. If he could have taken her, he would have gone farther with the. It was a little too swellish for me.
What advice do you have for people coming to Sicily?
I would definitely learn just some simple Italian. I feel like the more we've come, the more we branch out. I think being with you helps me feel more comfortable, and the more, go first with somebody. So you're not on your own.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
can be
definitely.
rough.
It can be a little daunting. And then after that, maybe you feel a little more comfortable and you can do things. Even coming off the boat with her today, I knew, because I'd been here before, where to go. And it felt good. It felt good to be in a similar place. It's different experiences. When we went to the vineyard, it was the same vineyard, but we had a dinner there this time, and it was just different. It was
And you
nice.
got to see it because last time we
It
didn't
was
have
raining.
the walking tour.
Yes, it was raining last time. This time it was perfectly sunny. So it's always nice. It's always nice.
Yes, Alfred. He's doing hand gestures over there. All right,
Yes,
Christine, grazie mille. All right, guess what? After the show, we're going to have a dinner because it's 6:00 here right now. Alfredo, come on back. So isn't that beautiful, you guys? I love the fact that Christine is hell-bent on passing down her Sicilian roots to her children, and each one of them have had a great experience. And what a pleasure to have that. And I think Philip Monego here, we're going to Polizzi Generosa with his family. So it's just a really good thing. And Alfred, you did that with your family. You have brought your kids over here.
Many times. Many times. I think that Sicily bites you. Once you come here, it gets in your bloodstream, so to speak, your heart, your spirit. We've talked about that ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum.
Listen, I want to give a couple of shout outs to Pat Galfano
Oh, yeah.
and her husband. They came with us. Where did they go?
They came to the vineyard with us.
I love
Came to the vineyard with us.
It's nice to meet you people.
Yep, great
Yep.
people.
You get to meet a lot of people on our tours.
But yesterday, they were up in Giardini Naxos, and she sent me a photo. Carolyn, guess where? From Roberto's place, Cafe Sicilia. They went to see Roberto.
One of the shows we mentioned going to Sayonara in Giardini Naxos, and guess what? That's where they went during the day.
So I
So
thought that
people-
was really cool. I also
They
want to
said
give
it was good advice.
I also want to give a shout out to our two Hawaiian people. Who are the two Hawaiian people?
Christina and Art.
and Art, who came from I want to say the Big Island, but I'm not exactly sure. In Hawaii, they were with us, and she is a Nicolosi. Originally, her maiden name from guess where? Lawrence, Massachusetts. That's all I had to hear. And we had a delightful time with them. I had the pleasure and the privilege of escorting them around some of the Etna villages.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the first day it rained cats and dogs. It was literally cats and dogs falling down, going up the hill, the Etna Mountain. But she went back to her ancestral hometown of Nicolosi, which is the sine qua non, so to speak. That means the cat's ass of Etna villages. I'm telling you right now, what a
That's where
terrific
Refugio Sapienza is.
That's where Refugio. Yeah, well, she's
So
up
it's a
from the
pretty
other side.
big.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big little town.
You know, Esther, I'll tell you a quick story about Nicolosi, and I'm one of the few people that know about this. Back in 91, I think it was 91, and when the big eruption was coming, it had threatened Nicolosi. The lava was flowing down towards Nicolosi. So the parish priest went out there with a few of his people, and he put the statue down of the Virgin Mary on the middle of the road coming from Etna, because the lava was approaching. And some of you people who have been to Etna have seen that house that's immersed in lava.
Yeah,
right.
We saw.
So not so far away, they marched up there and they put the statue there, and the lava stopped. So what they did was they built a small shrine in commemoration of that. And over the years, since 1991, it fell into disrepair. Except for Alfred, I knew where it was. So when I took her to Nicolosi, I took her to this shrine that was there for the commemoration of that particular incident. Yeah, I took you there too, right, Bunny?
I've been there a million times.
She's been there a million times.
But the other place, they have it right up on Refugio Sapienza, which is the highest point that you can go. You can walk the craters and so forth. There's a restaurant there too, or a bar. You get a coffee and stuff, where the firemen came and the lava was flowing down right next to it. The firemen came and, sprayed it with water, and it created this sort of cave. And so it saved the cafe. So there are a lot of these types of miracles. And of course, a statue of San Agatha is prominently placed right next to the Virgin Mary in that area. So it's so interesting to go up there on Etna and see some of these destructions, but also places that have been saved. So it's a very cool trip to do.
And I want to talk about a couple of other things if I possibly can, Esther. This is especially for the expats, people who are living here right now. Okay,
we're planning on coming here.
Or planning on coming here. Okay. To live. And I've been getting an awful lot of calls. And number one, Massimo has agreed to do another program with us on relocating here. And within the next few weeks, once I grab him and Esther can sit down. But anyways, I got my my Enel bill for propane gas, which we use to heat our house for the winter. Now, how they do it here in Italy is they send you a bill every 4 months. So this was for January, February, March, and April, the so-called winter months. And I've been a little bit, apprehensive about getting this bill because of all the stuff that I've been hearing about, that prices have gone up 50%.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, I wonder how much it's going to be. I wonder what it's going to be. So anyways, her and I don't keep a really hot house. As a matter of fact, I have the thermostat. We have forced water in our radiators. We have radiators, and we have a 2-floor condominium here. We live in a 2-floor place. Okay, so we heat, and you can't separate it unless we shut them off. But I don't want to do that. So, I have the thermostat set that at 11 o'clock at night it shuts off, and then at 5 o'clock in the morning it goes back on. So for 4 months, I got the bill today. And it was €956 for 4 months. So let's round it off to €250 a month.
What was it the last 4 months? I can't remember. Or last winter?
Last year it was in the high 700s because it's gone up. Okay?
Significant increase.
But here's the point I want to make. Okay, coming from New England, living in Lawrence and Methuen, Massachusetts, my heating bill in America during those 4 winter months was between $500 and $700 every month. And I lived in a similar sized condo over there. So I kind of breathed a sigh of release, Esther. You've done a heck of a job controlling the cost over here. And just so you know, my electric bill, okay, so that was the heating bill. My electric bill came in. My 2-month electric bill was €100. So put them both together, you're talking about €300 a month, about $325. So that's what you have to plan on when you're coming here, in addition to your rent, when you get a rent. So I thought that was very economical.
Okay, John, I'm looking forward to speaking with you as well on Friday. And Catherine, send me details and I'll send it to Alfred also.
What's that about?
Last October, after meeting you, we went to St. Alfio Randazzo and a fantastic cafe in Bronte, the pistachio capital of Sicily. Awesome. 1 second. Nancy, did you say you had dinner at the Etna Winery last night?
Yes.
We had it at Terra Constantino. They're very good friends, and we've been taking groups there and friends there for many, many years, and they can arrange having dinner there. That was lovely, wasn't it?
It was lovely.
I think it's good when you go to the winery and Salvatore and who's the other guy?
Fabio.
They love Esther. I mean, Esther has got to. I'm going to run Esther for president of Sicily someday because everybody loves Esther. Okay, I'm just like the tagline. So she called them up. She goes, "Hey, can your wife make a dinner for our friends?" And they said, "Sure."
Well,
So-
she's an excellent cook.
She's
And
an
she
excellent
does
cook.
do it for others, but only select. Like she won't do it for everyone. So that was very nice of her because she had offered in the past, but this is the first time that I thought, you know what? Wouldn't it be nice to sit out on the vineyard and have dinner? Why not?
And this particular place is a lot different than your standard wineries because they have a great tour that they give you, and they take you into the innards, right, Esther?
Right. Well, the whole philosophy is walk the vineyard, get to know the vines, also go into the ancient building where they used to stomp on grapes to make the wine. And Salvatore does a beautiful explanation. And then we walk through and he talks about the wine, and then one by one we try them. But this is very particular. There's no there's no Nero de Avola at this vineyard. It's Etna Rosso, Etna Bianco, and some other ones. So
It's terrific.
very,
It's terrific.
very some rosé also.
Yep, it's a terrific place. Now, I'm looking forward. I have to be honest with you, okay? I've always wanted to design a tour down south of Syracuse
We've been
Okay.
talking about this for years too.
for years, okay? Because my first home that I owned back in 98 was in Pachino. And I had nothing to do with Pachino. I bought a 2-unit condo with my friend Peter Messina from Lawrence. And we had it for about 4 or 5 years, and then we sold it because it was too far away. But I fell in love with Pachino, and I fell doubly in love with Mazamemi, okay? And we have never taken a tour group down to that
And even
area. over
Avila. I
there.
remember when I
Avila
went,
is
I
like,
just fell
yeah.
in love with Avila.
So we found a great hotel in Avila that's going to be centrally located, and we're adding it on to our extraordinary trip next year.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, it's going to be a long trip. It'll probably be, I don't
Well,
know,
if
maybe
they can
18
do-
days, 19
Well,
days.
if they can do half of it,
You could
right?
do half of the whole thing, but if
Paul
you want to
wants-
come to Sicily, that's what you want to do.
Paul wants to know what class of efficiency do you have, A or G?
That's a very good question. What efficiency do I have? I only buy A+ appliances. Excuse me.
A++.
A++ appliances. And
They
that
have those here.
when you go to the place to buy, no matter what type of electrical equipment you want, ranging from an air conditioner to a toaster oven, no matter what it is, okay, they're all graded. The more expensive ones are A++, and then they go down to A-, B, right? And then, so I always get A++. And the other thing that has saved us a ton of do-re-mi is I got rid of all my bulbs
Mhm.
in every single solitary light that we have, and I got those high efficiency ones.
That last a long time.
They last 1,000 hours. They cost €5 each. So
Perfect.
one of the first things I did was I got rid of those. And we're very, if you're going to live here in Sicily, you're my age, okay, or even Esther's age, because Esther's not,
Excuse
young
me, Al? Excuse me?
spring chicken.
Al? Like, what is wrong with him? Siri? Al? That was rude.
Esther, come on, I'm only kidding. If you're not a spring chicken, okay, and you want to live on X amount of money a year, okay, for example, if you have a retirement pension or an annuity, and you say, okay, can I live over here? I've always said, okay, Esther, you and I are going to live high off the hog here in Italy, and we're not going to spend
High
more
off
than
the hog.
$35,000 or $40,000 a year, which, by the way, is about 20% of what I spent in the United States, frankly, okay? And we've done it. We've made small, minor changes, and that's about it. Believe me when I tell you, and I'm not kidding you, take all the bad stuff aside, like garbage and all the mafia and all
Well,
this other
there's
stuff.
more other
All
stuff.
right, take all that stuff aside, right? If you use your own noodle, you can have a good time here. That's for sure. What do you think about that?
Oh, wow. Let me show you guys. Hey, say hello. Christine, Kaylee, they're having their appetizers. Then we're going to have some dinner. Look. at this beautiful view. Why don't you guys come and have a drink with us on our deck, because that's
What's
always
for dinner tonight?
part of
What's for dinner
part
tonight?
of the tour.
What's
We
for dinner?
have risotto with spinach,
Yum.
caponata.
Yum.
They're having bread, olives, and freshly stuffed cannoli.
You know, Wesley, the
On
glass
that
that you
note-
gave, wait, no, I'm not done yet. I have a few more things. The glass that you gave me had a hole in it. I want you to know
No
that.
kidding.
Listen, I have one more thing to say.
One more thing.
Come on, two more things.
One
to
more
say.
thing, honey.
All
And
right,
then
just
we're
one
gonna
more thing, and that's
one more
it.
thing.
What time is it? God, it's
one more thing.
Okay, listen. There's a few more people I want to shout out to, and I also want to tell you that for those of you who are going to be around tomorrow, I'm going to be on a program called the Sicilian Corner, which is my brother Tom's program, on Friday. I believe it's the 19th of May. He invited me to be on with Joe
What are you gonna talk
Shaka.
about?
Joe Shaka. And guess what?
What are
It
you
was
talking about?
actually an intellectual program.
Good.
It was not bada bing stuff. He asked me, Joe Shaka is like the dean of journalists in the city of Boston. Okay, he's a good friend of ours. And Joe and I talked about journalism in general and bias. Okay, so it's kind of like an intellectual
Okay.
thing. But of course,
Sounds
you know
good.
me, I kind of deviate. So you can watch it tomorrow. It's at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I promised my brother Tommy that I would go on the program. And I did. And if you notice also, I have an Austin prep hat on. Now, there's a lot of reasons why I have an Austin prep hat on. But the biggest reason is because my grandson, MJ, got accepted there. And my son, Matt, actually
Here's to that.
sent in the deposit for this kid to go there,
That's unbelievable.
which costs quite a bit of money. Now, I asked my son a couple of days ago, I says, Matt, when I come home, I want to take MJ. I want to go to Austin. Now, remember, I've been a Cougar since 1968, okay? Green.
Oh, you're going to go. Awesome.
And I want to have a picture of me and my grandson in front of the sign that says Austin Prep. It would be a lifelong dream that I've had that one of my grandkids would be a legacy of my alma mater. I am so thrilled. And then finally, the last thing, I would be remiss if I didn't call out Professor Rosario Ferracci, who he was an unbelievable help to us organizing with the New Jersey Italian Heritage Commission, Bob DeBassi and Breezy DeBassi, a beautiful thing that we did in Acciaiuoli with the bishop. And
we even made the new paper, La Sicilia, a picture of all of us.
Paper here. But anyway,
that was pretty cool. All of us.
In tribute to Rosario, okay, the Sicilian Project has agreed to donate to the Archdiocese of Acciaiuoli, thanks to Esser, the bishop, €2,000, which will be going out this week.
Well, right. And we will have a first hand in deciding what charities that will go to. And we're going to have a meeting with the bishop and we'll report back to you.
The last time that we gave money, which was just several months back to them, we selected a battered women's clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And we also selected a place for sexually abused children. Those are the two things that I remember. But here's the big news, okay? When she was there this week, the mayor of Acciaiuoli was there.
And I had talked to him about doing English classes in Acciaiuoli, and he said, "What are you waiting for?" So,
we're going to be restarting our English for free to the kids. Free.
Right. That's our nonprofit.
It's a nonprofit, and we're going to do starting our classes in Acciaiuoli.
And one of the things that we've been doing is pivoting during COVID and have helped, poverty has been rampant during COVID because of the situation. And so we've given it to a number of caritas, which are places that help people. So that's been really great. And then we also gave to some organizations that were giving things and supplies to the Ukrainian refugees up north. And now it's time to once again start the English classes free for Sicilians. Our nonprofit is the SicilianProject.com. The other thing I want to tell you,
SicilianProject.com, they have a donate button.
The other thing I want to tell you guys that I want to say, thank you to you guys, because you guys keep coming back here, sometimes even twice a week, because we come live or recorded Sunday and Wednesday. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for leaving us all those comments. We really, really, really appreciate it. On that note,
wait a minute.
nope.
I have one more thing to say, and that's it. I promise I'll shut up. I want to thank Esther, okay? Because Esther did a great job with this whole Archie thing, okay? As a matter of fact, Esther does a great job with all these things.
Is that to make up for not calling me Spring Chick anymore?
No, I'm serious. She does a great job. We want you to come here. And by the way,
come hang out with us in Sicily.
Remember this website, Alfred Zappala, that's me, alfredzappala.com, www.alfredzappala.com.
If you want legal work, but if you want entertainment.
All my books are there.
But if you want entertainment,
with me.
if you want entertainment and you want to tour Sicily and have all our videos, youmeetandsicily.com. On that note.
Okay, sweetie pie.
Ching ching. Love
God bless you. You're the best. There's
Ciao.
no one better than the bunch, though. Ciao.
See you in the next episode. Ciao.